Right, I like to say Barak de Yahweh, Barak de Yahweh Shai, Barak de Yahweh, Barak de Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there doing this work in truth and sincerity. I like to say Mawafla Babel, which is death to Babylon. And Lord willing, this is edifying to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. So, it's less traffic out here, so I'm going to grab this scripture. But I'm gonna leave the video screen on this one scripture, and I'll just quote the rest so I can pay more attention to the road. This is Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich," and their own shepherds pity them. Right, man. So who possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Now, who is that, man? That's the so-called white man. They hold themselves not guilty in the captivity and the slaying of you so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. For an example, when we're out in the highways and byways, the so-called white people or the Edomites, what they will say, they will say that we had no part in the captivity of you people. Well, first and foremost, you are who your forefather is, man. That's first and foremost, man. The scripture says in the book of Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21, it says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of the fathers, man. So because of the things that your fathers have done, you're going to pay for your father's sin, man. Your fathers have slain the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, raped our women, break our men, you know what I'm saying? Raped our children, fed our children to alligators, and did other torturing things to the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You got to pay for all those things, man. So again, the scripture says, who possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. So you hold yourselves not guilty in a matter of the captivity of the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But you're going to pay for all those things, man. Though you believe you wasn't a part of the captivity, you were, man. So you're going to pay for all of the wickedness that you have done, man. All of the wickedness that you have done. The scripture says, that which he have sown, he shall reap also, man. You have sown rape, robbery, and murder. You're going to reap the same, man. Your women are going to be taken from you. You're going to be put to death. And you're going to be working the fields, man. That's what you devils deserve. That's what you other nations deserve. You deserve captivity. You deserve punishments. You deserve death. And that's what's going to be put upon you. Why? Because it's the vengeance of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the Father, Yahweh Shai being the Son. The scriptures tell you in the book of Deuteronomy 30:7, for all of the curses shall be put upon thine enemy, man. It also tells you that in the book of Zechariah, I forget what chapter and verse. I believe it's Zechariah 8 and I want to say I believe it's Zechariah 8 and 13. Matter of fact, let me see if I can grab it real quick, because it ain't that much traffic, but I don't want to be I don't really want to take my eyes off the road. But let me see if that's it real quick. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 13. Let me see if that's it. This is Zechariah chapter 8, verse 13. And it says, and it shall come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. Right? Because the punishments are going to be placed upon the heathen, man. The scriptures tell you, though we were a curse among the heathen. You know what I'm saying? We was a curse among the heathen, you know, going through those captivities that it spoke of. And Salaka, going through the curses and the captivity that it was spoken Deuteronomy 28 and 15, man. So all the curses are going to be placed amongst these devils. So real quick, let me grab this one. And this says Deuteronomy 30 and 7. And it says, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemy. Salakia, man, that's my alarm. Salakia, let me turn it off real quick. Right. So the scriptures tell you, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemy and on them that hate thee, which prosecuted thee. So who prosecuted us, man? The so-called white man and the other nations, man. They have prosecuted us. They are our enemies, man. They're not our friends. They're not our buddies. They're not our pals. They're our enemies, man. And they plot and they plan and they have counsels against you, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So all the things that these heathens have done unto us is going to be done unto them in righteousness, man. We going to put them in captivity and righteousness, man. It tells you that in the book of Psalms. What is that? 149 and the first chapter. Salakia, man. The Spirit just had me grabbing these scriptures. You know, Psalms 149 and I'll start at 4. Matter of fact, let me start at 3. It says, let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with timbrels and harps. No, hold up real quick, man. Satan's on the side of me. Damn devil. And it says, for the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with his salvation. And it says, let the saints be joyful and glory. Let them sing out loud upon their beds. And who are the saints? You so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, the true Israelites of the Bible, the true Jews of the Bible, the true Israelites of the Bible. You know, it says, let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hands. And it says to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with the feathers of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints, which again are you so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Praise ye the Lord, man. So captivity is coming for you nations, man. For you people of other nations, man. The Most High is about to execute vengeance upon you, man. And you deserve it. You know, all the things that you have done unto our people, you think you're not gonna get you think you're not gonna pay for those things? The Most High is about to put judgment on you people, man. A lot of you people, even of now, a lot of you people are getting put to death, man. A lot of you heathens are getting put to death. You rioting, you going to war with each other. The Most High is about to have all of your armies come together in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the city of judgment. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of you are going to get put to death, man. So judgment is coming, man. And we see that, man. And we're waiting on the Lord for that day, man. We're waiting on the Lord to rise up upon our enemies, man. And who are our enemies? You so-called Chinese, you so-called white people, you so-called Japanese, you so-called Arabs, and you so-called Africans, man. We're waiting on the Lord to rise up against our enemies, man. A lot of death and destruction is about to happen to you nations. And even 2/3 of our people, because you blind to see the truth. You blind to see that you have an enemy in America. You want to befriend the so-called white men that's shooting unarmed so-called black people, man. And yes, you got so-called blacks killing blacks, but that's the curses we are under in Deuteronomy 28, man. With all I get understanding, man. Get some understanding on what you're talking about before you bring things up like that. Because our people are under the curses. That's why our people are gunning down each other, man. But why are they gunning down each other? Because of because of drugs and money that the so-called white men put in our neighborhoods, man. Going back into Psalms 83, these nations come together and they set themselves confederate against these. So they come up with ideas on how to keep you niggas destroyed, man. How to keep you niggas destroyed. So the Most High is going to destroy them. What the Lord said, he said in Isaiah 1 and 24, and in the book, Isaiah 1 and 24. Yes, Salakia. Isaiah 1 and 24, and in the book of Psalms 37. I forget what verse though. But he said, for I would destroy the transgressors and the wicked together, man. So the Most High is going to destroy 2/3 of you so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans right along with you other nations, man. He's going to destroy you, man. You know? He's going to take away the prosperity that you have in this life and put your ass in captivity, man. The scriptures tell you in the book of Job, the 37th chapter, he said, for the wicked prosper, but they shall be cut off. Matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. Salakia, man. Let me grab that real quick. That's in the book of Job 37 and Job, my bad. Psalms. The book of Psalms 37 and 35. I actually went into this last night. This is Psalms 37 and 35, and it says, I have seen the wicked in great power, right? The wicked is in great power, man. The wicked don't only represent the so-called white man. He's the main wicked, but it also represents the other nations, man. The nations are as well as wicked as well, man. It says, and spreading himself like a green bay tree. That's more going into the so-called white man. It says, yet he passes away, so the wicked will pass away, man. And lo, he was not, yea, I sought him, but could not be found. So the Most High, man, he's about to do away with you other nations, man. Hey, the scriptures tells you, as the hireling, so shall, as the hireling comes, so shall the hireling goes, to roughly paraphrase it. What is that, man? That's in the, I want to say that's in the book of Isaiah. I believe it's in the book of Isaiah, maybe the 5th chapter. I forget, man. I don't remember the exact chapter. But it says, so as a hireling comes, so shall he goes. You know, so the Most High used you for, the Most High, Yahweh Shemel Shai, he uses the so-called white man and the other nations for what he need them for. And then he's going to cast them away, man. And the kingdom is going to be given back unto the Israelites, man. And again, you nations are going into captivity. And I'm going to make sure, man, when I put them iron chains on you, they already rusted, man. They already rusted. You're going to catch a lot of diseases. You're going to catch a poison from them rusted iron chains, man. Hey, the scriptures tell you in Revelations chapter 13, verse 9 and 10, he that leadeth he that leadeth into captivity, which is so-called white man and the other nations, led you so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans into captivity. It says, he that leadeth into captivity. Salaki, I don't know why I'm tongue twisted. The scripture says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, man. So you so-called white people and you other nations, you're going to go into captivity under the elect, man. The scripture says the earth shall be inherited by his saints, to roughly paraphrase it, man. I believe that's in the book of Psalms, the 34th chapter. It says the earth shall be inherited by his saints. So the Most High is going to give the earth unto the elect, man, unto the 144,000, because they the ones that's going to truthfully have this understanding, man. The elect, not you heathens, man. You know, look how the world look with you people ruling over it, man. You got concrete everywhere. You got 40% of the animals going extinct. It's probably even higher than that, man. You got chemtrails in the air. You know. The ozone layer is green. You got all these machines polluting the world, man. Man, the Most High's not having that, man. That's why you devils got to be brought low. You got to be brought to the ground, man. You got to be brought to the dust of the ground. Because all you're doing is causing death and destruction here. Hey, the scriptures tell you in Revelations 11 and 18, I believe. It says, destroyeth him which destroyeth the earth. And who destroy the earth? Well, it tells you in 2 Ezra 6 and 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So Esau is the end, man. Esau is the end of the world, so he's destroying the earth. Amazon rainforest on fire. California on fire. California always, and the Most High always sparking fires in California, man. He's putting a lot of judgment. He's putting a lot of judgment out there, man. Well, the scripture tells you in Joshua 1 and 15, for judgment shall come down upon the unholy, to roughly paraphrase it. You people are unholy people, you know. So judgment is coming down on you, man. That's why you have all these natural disasters, man. Because the Most High, man, he controls these things. The weathers, the tornadoes, the tsunamis, the fires. And like I said, what? You got these devils, they destroying the world, and they're causing the fires. They're the sword of the Lord, man. So the Most High have them working his works as well. And again, as the hireling is brought forth, so shall the hireling be put away, man, to roughly paraphrase it. So the Most High hired him for a purpose, and he's going to fire him at the end of that purpose, man. And that's going to be the end of the so-called white man. Why? Because he's going to go into captivity for 1,000 years and be burnt off the face of the earth, man. But yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and end it from there, man. I don't want to keep rambling on. But I'm going to go ahead and say Barak de Yahweh, Barak de Yahweh Shah, Barak de Yahweh, Barak de Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Ruchakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutation to you brothers out there doing this work with true sincerity. I like to say Mawafla Babel, which is death to Babylon. The Lord willing, this was edifying to you brothers out there that's doing this work with true sincerity. I like to say Shalom.